The attack of the Pakistani Taliban on a school in Peshawar has focused the eyes of the world firmly on Pakistan, with people asking why the Taliban have chosen to do this at this moment. There are a number of factors behind this. Well, firstly, the Pakistani army have been carrying out a military offensive against the Taliban since the summer in the northwest of the country, in areas such as North Waziristan, which are strong Taliban bases. That offensive has killed a lot of Taliban fighters. It also has killed a lot of civilians and displaced tens of thousands of people. And the Taliban have said very clearly that this attack in the school was a direct response for the offensive that they've been suffering from the Pakistani army. But that's not the only reason. We know that there have been significant splits within the Pakistani Taliban over the last few months. There's a lot of internal discord, and in fact, the commander that claimed responsibility for this particular attack on the school is quite newly appointed to the unit that he is managing. So what we see is there is internal splits, there is military pressure from outside, and in fact, the Taliban are in a particularly weak moment, and I think this attack in a way is an attempt to show that they are still strong and they can still confront the Pakistani army. The attack on the school was, of course, a direct attack on the Pakistani army's families. It's a school primarily for military families' children. But the relationship between the Pakistani army and the Taliban has not always been a straightforward one of confrontation. Certainly in recent years, and at the moment during the military offensive, the army is very keen to push back the Taliban. But the army has also been involved in creating space for the emergence of the Taliban. The Pakistani army have a long history of providing space and providing support to jihadi groups, not just the Taliban, but others, because these groups can further their interests in neighbouring countries such as Afghanistan and India. And it's been this support that has allowed the Taliban to emerge, to have such control over the northwestern areas, and to really turn into the strong force that it is today. Of course, today, the Pakistani Taliban is very focused on attacking the Pakistani state, which it wants to overthrow and replace with a caliphate. Public opinion in Pakistan, as in majority, has always been opposed to the Taliban, and this is only going to be more so following this attack. There's widespread outrage and anger that the Taliban would attack children in this way. One of the challenges for responding to the Taliban and the violence in Pakistan has been Pakistan's politics. The political parties have tended to be very much involved, investing their energies in backstabbing each other, in trying to undermine each other, and in kind of personal power politics. And also there's been a lot of friction between political parties and the army, and that has meant that there hasn't been a united front or even a united approach in responding to the Taliban. The army at the moment wants to go down a military response, whereas the government has been toying with the idea for a long time of talks, although that seems to be on the back burner now. So what we can hope is that perhaps the public pressure and the public outrage will push Pakistan's leaders, both civilian and military leaders, to unite and have a common, united and strong response to the Taliban. This could be an opportunity for that to happen. One danger, on the other hand, is that obviously Pakistan's military is extremely angry. In response to the attacks, to the school attack, they have immediately carried out widespread bombing on areas where the Taliban are known to operate. And the danger is that there could be an increasing spiral of violence between the military and the Taliban, of course, with civilians caught in the middle. The conflict in Pakistan and the Pakistani Taliban themselves can of course only be understood in the context of Pakistan's highly troubled region and its very difficult relations with its neighbours India and with Afghanistan. So the question that's being asked is this particular attack going to change those regional dynamics? The answer is probably no. While Pakistan's neighbours, both India and Afghanistan, have expressed solidarity with the Pakistani people in the face of this violence, the reality is that the lack of confidence remains, there's a high level of distrust, and it's not like that's going to shift in the short term.